around 8:30.
Oh, awesome.
And then they can kind of stay up on their device for like 20, 30 minutes and then lights out. And then my husband usually goes to bed around 9:30, and then I usually stay up for at least 30 more minutes and just kind of like,
That's a mom quiet time?
yeah, bed in front of the TV.
Mom quiet, yeah, do that. All righty. Mary, I'm gonna reach over here and touch the button like I know what I'm doing. And we are back in open session now. And the finisher, we are down to
Item E.
item E, correct?
Correct.
And if, after having, is there any action or discussion on this, please?
Mr. President, if I may, for the recording, item E is the governing board may discuss and may consider offering specific candidates the opportunity to participate in the final interview for the position of district superintendent and, period. Yep.
I'd like to make a motion. And as a result of the information discussed in our executive session, we have determined that we are going to call back for a second interview. The candidates, Dr. Bryce Anderson, Dr. Anna Battle, and Melanie Edwards.
I'll second.
Any other discussion on that? If not, we'll go ahead and call for the vote. Mary, please.
Mr. Wright,
Yes.
Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
Mr. Hennis,
Yes.
Mrs. Harrington,
Yes.
and Mr. Kirby.
Yes.
As part of this, we've also talked about in the final interview questions, and I believe, Steve, we've kind of discussed creating a script and asking for potentially a creative action plan. You will work on putting this together?
Mr. President, it's item F. So have you finished with your recording for the last agenda item?
Yes.
Okay. So item F, yes, it has to do with discussion of areas of interest, questions, and presentations. The recommendation I would make, you've had a lot of good questions that you asked these candidates. I think one of the primary items in front of all districts this coming year is getting back to normal. So my suggestion is that I ask, you direct me to ask each of the three candidates you named to bring back or bring to you a PowerPoint presentation and make a presentation in front of the board as if it was a governing board meeting. So you're acting just as a board, they're acting as your superintendent. They present to you their action plan for creating as normal a school year as possible, starting in the fall. And then limit it to about 20 minutes of presentation. Of course, with your interaction, that will take longer. Possibly set a time of 45 minutes total for each person. It gives them 20 minutes to speak, gives about 20 minutes or so for you to follow up. And then we can give a 15-minute break or so. And then the next person did the same thing, 15-minute break. You'd have all three of your folks in, and then you have more opportunity to discuss. So regarding that presentation process, that would be my recommendation of how to do it.
Okay, and you need a motion on that?
Yes.
A specific motion? Okay, can I get a motion to the plan that Steve just laid out?
I move that we accept Steve Highland's recommendation for the questions on our next interview as he presented it.
There's a motion by Chuck and a second by Joe. And any other questions on that? We'll go ahead and call for the vote. Mary, please.
Mr. Wright,
Yes.
Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
Mr. Hennis,
Yes.
Mrs. Harrington,
Yes.
and Mr. Kirby.
Yes.
I guess item G is, Steve, is something you'll have to get with everybody is interview meeting dates right now at this point. You'll have to visit with the individual people that we've chosen.
Whatever your liking is, if you'd like to coordinate it through administration, that's fine, or if you can look at your calendar night, that works also. We've got a 3-day weekend coming, and then we've got the week after that. That's not probably enough time for them to put together what they need to put together. So I think what we're looking at is somewhere potentially, the week of the 7th, and I will tell you, schedule-wise for me, the week of the 7th, I have 2 dates open. I have the 8th, which is Tuesday, and I have the 11th, which is Friday.
Tuesday's our regular board meeting.
Pardon me?
Yeah, Tuesdays
Tuesday's
are,
our regular board
The
meeting.
Yeah, we
8th is the board
changed-
meeting.
yeah, we changed our board meetings that day. Is there not any way to do it? I mean, today is Wednesday of giving them essentially a week. I mean, to do, I know this is a 3-day weekend, but, most of these folks are already, are fairly well prepared, et cetera, and to come up with a presentation for a 20-minute presentation to try and do something end of next week.
We can push it on, we can push it to the 2nd. I don't have an opening on the 3rd or 4th.
So the 2nd is a Wednesday?
The 2nd is when? Week from today, which, that's, if I get a hold of those folks, this evening, and they can start pushing on
I think that's what superintendents do, right?
it. Superintendents do that by your direction, absolutely.
All right, and I think that answers both things. So if we can shoot for the date of June 3rd, do we need a motion on that one?
June 2nd.
June 2nd.
Excuse me, June 2nd,
At 5:30?
5:30 would be best, correct, Joe?
Okay, yes, that should take a motion, please.
Get a motion to that?
I'll make a motion to have our second round of interviews be June 2nd, starting at 5:30.
I'll second the motion.
Kelly moved and Taylor second. Is there any other discussion on that? If not, call for the vote, Mary, please.
Mr. Wright?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes.
Mr. Hennis?
Yes.
Ms. Barrington?
Yes.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Seeing no further action to come before the board tonight, we will go ahead and adjourn, and it is 9 p.m. Just in time for Mrs. Rosenbaum to go home and go to bed.
Like that noted in the
Did
minutes.
that make it on
Good fun, everybody.
Maybe have some levity.